It is our desire to impress upon you how invaluable a tool the free press is. People shape their lives based on the information they receive and their understanding of it. Legacy media and the entities that own them have lost credibility due to the bias in their productions. While here at HTW we recognize that everybody has bias, we are passionate about ours and we post them at the beginning of every video. Welcome to HTW. I thank you for your time, and I hope you find the following presentation informative. While attending monthly meetings, various subjects are brought to the attention of residents. When asking questions, Marie and the community are often met with, "I don't know," "That's not my job," and other anthems of irresponsibility. Because of the board's relentless incompetence, Marie has used right-to-know requests to find answers in public information. These right-to-know requests have garnered some criticism. While most of this explanation will fall on deaf ears, we do want to clear the air regarding any appearance of a waste of time or financial expenditure. First, let's address cost. Any cost pertaining to the right-to-know request is paid for by the requester. For example, if the requester asks for a paper copy of a document, then the requester is going to pay for the cost of that copy. If the requester asks for digital documents or media, you will have to pay for whatever device you transfer that media to, and by whatever means that media is delivered to you. The requester is going to pay for any costs incurred due to the request. The real financial costs to the township has come from the use of an attorney to censor, redact, or creatively withhold public records. We find evidence of this in the invoices from the solicitor referencing right-to-know requests. We have the documents with redactions, the letters of rejection in fancy legalese, and a video that exists but no one has it.
It's because you're an elected official, and as an auditor, you should not be deleting anything.
Maybe I did it for my own for political, what's the word?
Intimidation, retaliation.
Oh my God, let's not even talk about intimidation or retaliation. I would say political satire, I think is the word you used.
It is our belief that these legal advisements were not because they were trying to protect the township. The costs to the township are in fact a result of township officials and elected board members trying to protect themselves. Meet the solicitor that has enabled this poor behavior. Todd King is a partner at Salzman & Hughes and a solicitor for several townships in the local area. Todd left a bad taste in the mouth of this township from his initial appearance in January 2023 as solicitor for Huntington Township. During the public meeting, Marie was redressing the Board of Supervisors and openly video recording with her phone mounted to a tripod.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Did you announce that?
I don't have to.
Public meeting.
It's a public meeting.
You have to announce that you're recording other people. That's.
No.
She never announces it. She
Yes, I
records.
did.
You never.
I'm sorry, but
After it was done, she announced it.
Every meeting that I would record.
I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware. Who is anyone else recording?
I'm recording.
Okay.
But I have told them I will
No, I
be
just-
doing that every meeting.
Okay.
I don't expect the answers here. I'm going to put this in writing.
I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that nobody got in trouble or nobody said that there was an illegal wiretap because nobody announced it. I just.
No, under the sun, I'm very aware of it.
Todd King didn't stop there. As solicitor, Todd King and former chairman Dave Boyer penned a recording device resolution for the township that did not acknowledge the rights of the people. This resolution was aimed directly at Marie in an attempt to silence and intimidate her. If you're asking yourself, where was the local media when all this was going on? According to Scott Pitzer's public LinkedIn profile, he has experience in local government, state government, and legacy media publications such as the Gettysburg Times and a local Fox affiliate. Todd's most recent and, in my opinion, concerning employment is with Orion Strategies. Let's just say that by Orion Strategies' own admission, they are here. All right, we're not going to get into all that right now. You're more than welcome to research on your own. Scott Pitzer has been the author of several articles referencing Huntington Township published by the Gettysburg Times. During the recording resolution fiasco put on by Dave Boyer and Todd King, Scott Pitzer sat quietly about the specific attack on Marie, but during the meeting he advocates that he is the press.
Quick question from the press, if you don't mind.
Scott Pitzer.
Quick question from the press, if you don't mind.
Scott.
Somehow it escapes Scott that being neutral, as the press is supposed to remain, means when the township does something wrong, you don't cover that BS with some flowery writing that in no way describes what happened. As many of you may be aware, the past year has left Huntington Township in disarray. Early in 2025, Gus Frendenwalds, the longtime zoning permit officer, was terminated, followed by the passing of Pat Davis, who was the secretary, the treasurer, and the former open records officer. Losing two employees with decades of experience in a small township like Huntington is almost catastrophic. Dave Boyer had an opportunity to lead, be a man, and help his community push through this transition. But after blowing through the township money like the floodwater that washed out the culverts, former chair Dave Boyer stepped down and walked out on the board and the township for a second time. The vacancy created on the Board of Supervisors and all that unfolded from that is how Marie came into the following information. When reviewing the Salzman and Hughes invoice, number 56204, dated 10/31/2025, Marie noticed that there was an entry for time billed for emails to Scott Pitzer regarding the Board of Supervisors vacancy. Marie continued drilling down further with an additional right-to-know request, recovering the conversation that took place between them. We'll start this off here with the response to Ms. DeGanji's request. This is from Julie Dinges. I did clean the email up so that it's easy to view here on screen. Right to know granted, December 17th, 2025. Ms. DeGanji, on December 15th, 2025, you emailed a request for information pursuant to the Pennsylvania Right to Know law. You have requested any and all emails between and among Solicitor Todd King and Scott Pitzer from the Gettysburg Times related to the vacancy, as shown on the Salzman Hughes invoice dated October 31st, 2025, under Solicitor Todd King's time entry dated October 23rd, 2025. And I have highlighted down here any and all written emails or communications authorizing Solicitor Todd King to communicate and answer questions related to vacancy from Scott Pitzer of the Gettysburg Times by any Huntington Township elected official or employee. And as you'll see, that was never answered. So it starts off with an email from Scott to the solicitor. Good morning, Counselor. I had an article in the paper yesterday about the vacancy on the Huntington Township Board of Supervisors. In the article, I wrote that the next municipal election is in 2026, which I think is incorrect. No one said this during your meeting. It was just my miscalculation of election cycles. The seat would be on the ballot in 2027 because that would be the next municipal election, correct? Or is that wrong? Looking for insight so when I report on this again, such as when the seat is filled, that the information is accurate. Scott. So Todd returns with, Scott, the provision in the second-class township code is as follows. And then proceeds to say, given the vacancy occurred within 60 days of the next municipal election this November, it would go to the next municipal election in 2027. The newly elected supervisor would take the seat January 2028. So yes, you are correct on the date aside from the mix-up as to when the next municipal election is. Up until this point, everything appears to be on the upside. Scott could have went another direction in trying to find this information. Scott responds with, "Thank you, sir. I'll catch up with you privately about other feedback, no biggie. Just want to fill you in. We just bought a home in Huntington and Flowing Springs. Should be officially moved in by the end of November." Not sure why it just got really personal. Todd returns with, "Scott, you are welcome. Congrats on the new house. Maybe being on the board of supervisors is a future idea for you." Again, Scott responds, "Certainly a possibility since we'll be around for the next 30 years. I need to live in the township a year before an election to be eligible for supervisor, right? I changed my voter registration as of 10/20/2025. If they want to put me on the zoning hearing board, if there's ever a vacancy, I'd be fine with that too, as long as I met the eligibility requirements." Todd returns with, "Yes, you need to have a year as a resident, or else I would have suggested you for the current vacancy."
Hi, this is Marie from HTW. As a resident, this is my opinion as to the email exchange. First, part of my right to know request was for any written authorization by the township supervisors or any employee for Todd King to communicate with Scott Pitzer as a reporter for the Gettysburg Times concerning the supervisor vacancy. Although required to do so, Julie Dinges, Open Records Officer, did not respond to that part of my request. Why? One can only surmise that there was no authorization given by the supervisors. Any reasonable person reading the email exchange will see that this was an exchange between friends. Scott Pitzer could have utilized the Board of Elections for his questions concerning the vacancy. Yet, Todd King, a partner at Salzman Hughes, billed 0.2 hours for that exchange. In billing for legal fees, that equates to 12 minutes of time for a total of $32.80, which was paid for by our tax dollars. It's not a large amount of money, but taxpayers have to ask, why are we paying for personal conversations? Salzman Hughes monthly invoices range from between $1,200 to over $2,000. Why are residents paying for time spent by solicitor Todd King and Scott Pitzer to discuss Scott Pitzer's political ambitions here in Huntington Township? Please let it sink in that solicitor Todd King, a partner at Salzman Hughes, was hired to provide legal advice to the Board of Supervisors. Todd King was not hired to make recommendations to fill elected positions with his friends. The email exchange shown in this video is evidence of what goes on behind the township doors with the clique and their friends. Are these really the kind of people that the good and decent residents of Huntington Township want to represent us?
In closing, I would like to circle back and ask a few questions. Does this shape your understanding of why we need an open and transparent government? Do you believe that the actions taken by Todd King and Scott Pitzer are in an effort to make Huntington Township a better place? I think the answers to those two questions will determine whether or not you believe this was all a waste of time. Again, I thank you for yours.